All right, this is Joe and Brent with Phoenix Contact here. We're here to show you the actual Acid Customs trigger. This is actually a brand new trigger that just came out that we've been testing for a while to get it all set up for the Empire axe. Absolutely phenomenal trigger. Let me break everything down for you here. As you can see, the trigger is carbon fiber, so it's extremely light. The trigger is actually wider than your stock trigger, so you don't get that side-to-side play, as well as it's very smooth and rounded around the edges, which is great. Also, the bearing, smooth bearing, larger bearing. It fits in the whole section, so you get no side-to-side play, very nice pull. Now you do have your micro switch screw here, so you can hit your activation. You have your pre-travel screw here to go in and out. You also have your post-travel screw here. Now with your post-travel screw, it's not your standard metal screw. It actually has a little bit of a soft rubber tip here, plastic tip, so it doesn't beat up your trigger frame, doesn't scratch it up, so it'll save on your ammo a little bit. Now the biggest thing about this is you can see this hole here. This is just like your stock trigger. If you want to put your magnet here for your standard frame on the gun, to where you actually have the push from the magnet on the bottom of the trigger, you can do that. We actually changed it around a little bit, and this is something that we liked, and with some other guns, they actually have it to where either your micro switch is down here, which of course the axe it's up here. We have a magnet here. This magnet here in the center connects to a magnet that is set up that you glue onto your solenoid. So it's very smooth trigger pull. You don't have that real snappy push on the bottom. Very smooth, very fast. For myself, my fingers aren't too fast for a semi, but with this trigger, I mean, I've gone probably from 7 to 8 balls a second to 13 easy without even trying hard. I mean, it's a very nice trigger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you how to install the trigger. With this, we've already taken the screws out of the frame and your standard pin, just because it's time consuming, and I'll show you why. This is your standard trigger pin. With this trigger pin, it's not threaded at all, so you actually have to use a punch or a press to get this out. So what I recommend is when you get this out, talk to Ross at Boss Paintball. He has these threaded, let me pull this out here for you, threaded trigger pins. It's great, especially if you get shot in a trigger frame and you take a trigger out. You don't have to have a punch or anything like that. What you do is put them in both sides, you put an Allen key on both sides, and then you thread it in and you're all set. So let's show you how the magnet works. Like I said, I already took the screws out of the frame, so I'm going to pull it apart here. We've tried about 5 different magnets, from smaller round ones, bigger square ones, and what we've felt, and with all the guys on the team have tried it, this is kind of almost perfect to the way we like the triggers. Now, if you think this is a little bit too firm for your pull, you can of course pull out the magnet, either push it in if you want it stronger, pull it out further if you don't want it. If it's still too strong and you have it all the way out, what you can do is you can always replace this with a standard circular earth magnet, which you can get at Harbor Freights or Radio Shack. We just felt that this is the best magnet for it because it just happens to work perfectly, and it's not too snappy, but it's smooth, and it doesn't cause any bounce in the gun. So as you can see, you have your tape here from the factory where they tape over the solenoid to keep it out of the way. Basically, it's not even 1/4 of an inch up is where it meets. So what you do is mark it with the marker, put your frame back in before you put your trigger in, and you get your trigger having a little bit of issue here holding it down, and you just take a look and see where that mark is, if the middle is touching where the magnet should be. Only takes a few seconds to make sure it's lined up. It's very simple. So of course I'm already lined up. Pull the frame back apart. All you do is you get a little super glue. Now you want to make sure, and this is a biggie because the magnet will attach the metal each way, make sure that you get the push and it doesn't actually grip onto the other magnet on your trigger, so you don't do it the opposite way and have to take it off and redo it. So of course I'm good. So I'll put this frame back together. Now I have another gun here that already has the trigger installed. I'm going to do this for time purposes. This is the Talon trigger. Half our guys like this one, half the guys actually like the G-Spot. Again, it's all for filling. They're all made the same, all smooth. The bearings are the same. They're wider. So as you can see, really smooth. I mean, it's unbelievable how nice this trigger is, and you can really get ripping on it really nice. We do play MPPL and PSP. So all you have to do is, of course, in PSP, most people just use a one finger. You just pull in a little bit tighter for your pre-travel, and then it's very simple. Most of us like it out a little bit further because of the way that the hook comes down for MPPL to get it to where it gets ripping really well, and then you're all set. But other than that, that's really about it on the triggers. Very nice triggers. You want to get a hold of John over at Acid Customs. They are available now. I mean, they were the prototypes, and it was taking a little while for them to get in. He's set. He's ready to rock and roll, and he's ready to have them out for sale. If you have any questions, just feel free to email us. And that's it. Thank you.